Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Growing Writers, the program that explores connections between gardening and writing. Today's episode is about pruning, and we're going to start at the knockout roses to give you the first example. Throughout these three examples, you might think about your own writing, poem, story, essay, article, anything, and when does it need pruning and what do you prune? So here with the rose, and I'm lifting up another branch here, the primary purpose of this bush for us is the blossoms, beautiful red blossoms. So there comes a time when pruning helps create the blossoms. And with the flower on the left, you can see that it's on its way out. Once it's gotten a little shabbier, we'll cut it back, and this branch on the right shows you how I've pruned elsewhere. Cut it back to the last leaf, or the first leaf, however you want to count, and then the energy of the plant can flow into the new leaves and new blossoms. So a lot of pruning, both in gardening and writing, is about where do you want to put the energy. What's the purpose of the plant, and how can you best send the energy to the appropriate spots. Okay, now we're going to walk on over to the second example, which is the basil. And in this case, unlike the roses, what we want is the leaves. And periodically, if we don't stay on top of it, the plant starts to form blossoms and flowers. You can see the little white flower down there, but we're not interested in flowers in this case. So we'll pinch that back. And then here's another example up here. We'll just pinch that back. That way, the energy from the plant can go into the leaves, and we can harvest the leaves and put those in salads, make pesto or anything else. So there again, we've pruned what we don't need, and the energy can go into what we want. Now we're going to come on past some of the peppers, and we're going to head over to the tomato plant, one of the tomato plants. And you can maybe see this is the main stem, and then it has branches coming off. And sometimes in this little spot between the main stem and the branch are what's called suckers. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're sucking energy from the main plant. So you can just pinch those back. Okay, and then there's a small sucker, and some, if we're not paying attention, there's some big ones around too. Now the interesting thing, and I'll just take you back towards the front of the tomatoes again, this plant here, this one, which is now about 3-4 feet tall, and I'll move back so you can see it, that started out as a sucker. I pinched it off of a plant and then just stuck it in the ground, and it created its own roots. So that's an interesting feature of something that I pruned, which is not the case with the roses or the basil. Okay, so that's it for pruning. Just a heads up, the next program will address weeding. You might ask yourself in the meantime, as far as your writing goes, if you've written a story or an essay and you want to prune, what's the difference between cutting back, taking off unnecessary parts of the story or the essay, which is pruning, and weeding on the other hand. So next time we'll address the weeding. That, by the way, on the left is a red pepper, sweet bell pepper, which we'll be ready to pick shortly. Okay, take care, and we'll see you next time on Growing Writers. Bye-bye.